Yo, so not too long ago I released a video on some of the overpowered loadouts that I've been trying out in Warzone, and I gave a couple recommendations. One of those recommendations was actually the STG. So you've clicked on the video, you're looking for what is the meta AR right now. Well, I kind of predicted it a little bit back then. So I'll link that video below and it'll be on in the card in the top right of the screen. But essentially, the idea was that they weren't exactly meta loadouts that I was suggesting, but more so ones that were overpowered but underrated. And with the latest update, lo and behold, the STG finally came into its own with the latest, big update to the game with Kong and Godzilla coming in, and it had some good buffs. Everyone loves it currently. It's being deemed the meta AR right now. And I wanted to just give you a quick setup and show you what it's looking like as this meta AR and what attachments I've been running on it. So yeah, let's get into it. Really quick, I just want to make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. If you aren't already, hit that big red button down below and click the bell icon just so you don't miss any of my uploads. Okay, so in we go. Feel free to pause the video and just have a look at the attachments yourself right now. If you watched the previous video on the overpowered loadouts, you'll know that it's looking very similar. In fact, I believe the only thing that's changed maybe is the stock and the magazine that we run, but when we get to them, we'll go through them and talk you through it right now. So we'll start off with the muzzle, the MX silencer. You use the MX silencer over recoil booster, mercury silencer, everything else, just because it's so much straighter when it shoots. The horizontal recoil and the vertical recoil control is unbelievable on it. So much better. Definitely use the MX. You can test out with the mercury if you want, but I think I found that it jumps a little bit more. But with these new rounds, maybe it's not as bad. I don't know. Give it a test yourself. But I found the MX silencer to be the best, and that's one that you'll see like clips of now as we go through the video. Next up is the barrel. I believe this is the only barrel that's actually viable to use right now. I think all the other ones are a little bit just too jumpy and not. Maybe the precision barrel will be okay, but the 760 is what everyone runs right now. It's like the straight meta one. It's on Warzone ranked. It's on everyone's commands in their Twitch chats and wherever. Everyone's running this. Everyone's using that. You use it as well. The optic is very much a personal preference sort of thing. A lot of people now like to use the 3 to 6x variable. I think that's becoming quite significant these days. I see people running the one with the reflector slate reflector, and also the one that's have like the 2.5x, so this one, and also people use the G16 2.5x straight up as well, just to because that's what people used to use a little bit like back on the Cooper Carbine on the auto a little bit back in the day. But personally, I like to use the variable zoom SVT scope 3 to 6x. I think that's the nice one. It doesn't like jump anywhere, shoots dead straight, and the picture is really clear. You can also customize your reticle a little bit as well. I just like how this one is as itself. I mean, if you go through the reticles right now, the default is the only one I've got unlocked, and it's the only one I feel like you need to use. Now, the stock is a bit of an interesting one. I think before people like to use precision or weighted. I think it's very much in the air. I think you can use either. It just depends how you like the feel of it. But tactical, precision, or weighted are all pretty similar, I believe, in feel. Try them out for yourselves. I use tactical. I think it shoots the dead straightest. It's like the most versatile for me. And the aim walking speed. If you liked the FFAR loadout and the meta that was back on Verdansk, it'll feel a little bit similar in that movement speed left to right. So yeah, I'd use the Constance tactical stock there. I'm going to skip the two perks for right now. I'm just going to jump into the Underbarrel. The hand stop is honestly the only one you should be using 100% on all your ARs. Even on most of your subs as well, I believe the hand stop is the only one you need to run. You should already know that. Hand stop 100%. Past that, it gets a little bit more interesting. Polymer grip, I feel like, is a staple as well. You run that as the rear grip 100% all the time. Even on subs as well, I believe it's polymer or fabric right now on pretty much all of them. They're just so much nicer to use. Fabric is a little bit nicer if you don't mind, the flinch that you get sometimes. But particularly on Caldera, where you can be getting shot from a lot of angles and stuff, it does put you off. And that long engagements that you have, the accuracy and recoil to sustain fire, like it says there, is really important just to keep you dead straight. But yeah, the polymer and the hand stop are the two staples that don't change. The rest can be a little bit interesting. So I'll look at the magazine first. So on that other video that I made, I talked about the 8mm Kurz 60 round drum, and that was what I was using. And at the time, it jumped a little bit, and it wasn't that accurate, but it did hit pretty hard, and I quite liked using it. It's come out now that the meta really is these 7.62s. I do have a friend that runs the 30 Russian shorts, and he says they're quite good as well, but I haven't tested them myself. I think the Grenkos, the 7.62s, are the best ones you want to use. Definitely keep them on for right now. And for the ammunition, this is where it also gets a little bit more interesting. If you play Caldera a lot, lengthened doesn't do a hell of a lot for you, but I like using it just for that peace of mind that if your bullets don't register properly, you know that it's not your setup or anything. It's not your class. You just know it's like the server delay or something like that, or your own internet connection issues. But you need the bullet velocity, I feel like, for that peace of mind in your head. That might just be me. If that is just me, there is also the option of hollow point. I don't think they're that good. What I would rather use instead, though, is FMJ. Now, FMJ on Caldera, with all the huts that you can shoot through, there are paper walls everywhere. If you run FMJ with Combat Scout, which a lot of people do right now, you just almost have like unlimited wall hacks. You just spam walls all the way through. So you could run FMJ potentially if you aren't like me, where I need this sort of idea in my head that the bullet velocity is maxed out. I can't do any more with it. If the bullets don't hit, it's something else. If you don't mind that, run FMJ. And also, when you do run FMJ, you also then have this option of using Combat Scout. Now, with Combat Scout, I feel like you could also run something like Vital, so that when you are hitting through the walls, you are doing maximum damage through the walls. Personally, I use Focus. I do like switch a little bit, even Sleight of Hand sometimes, maybe on Rebirth could be quite good. But Focus or Vital for me is just like super strong. Vital maybe if you're, I don't know, if you do use that different setup with FMJ, etc. But I don't like. I hate flinch. I can't believe flinch is even a mechanic in any of these games. So I run this just to get rid of the flinch resistance. Just sorry to increase the flinch resistance, just so I don't have flinch all the time. Because being aim punched is nothing worse. And perk 2 fully loaded. I feel like this is probably the best one to use on Caldera. Oh yeah, so what was this? There was a JGod video, wasn't there? So he did a video on hand, and I think they've now updated it in game to show it. But the ADS speed, there was like a 20 to 30 millisecond difference of like aiming in when you had on hand equipped, and it didn't make any sense whatsoever because all it said before was equipment dexterity. So I'm interested to see that they've actually, well, I'm glad to see they've changed it now in game to represent that. So you could potentially run that on hand. It does feel nicer when you're throwing grenades and stuff as well. I run Sentexes on this class, so that does feel pretty good. And also if you use snapshots as well, um, you throw them out a little bit quicker. But fully loaded for Caldera is really nice. Mech starting ammo. For Rebirth, maybe it's not as useful, but yeah, on hand or fully loaded for that. I run fully loaded. And so yeah, that is pretty much the entire class. There's a couple things that you could swap out, a couple attachments that are a little bit 50-50. All of these that are equipped right now, though, are the ones that are ideal for Caldera, running through Caldera. Like I said, if you wanted to switch it up and go, FMJ, maybe you put Vital on, you put Combat Scout on, it's a little bit more effective. If you play customs quite a lot, that could be quite useful playing customs and in where you have to sort of secure kills and all the information is really valuable. But if you are playing tournament customs, sometimes you'll see that things like Vital might be banned, or FMJ might be banned, or Combat Scout is most definitely banned in a lot of those tournaments. So maybe don't have the option there. But if the rules do allow it, it's definitely a great alternative to try out. Past that, a lot of things are just staples of the STG meta class right now. They're the hand stop, the polymer grip, the sight for me. I don't want to try any others, but I know a lot of people like them. The barrel, there's no other like swap outs, and the silencer for me, there's not really any other swap outs. So a couple of things that stay regardless. The gun shoots so straight. Try it out. You've seen the clips. Now get out there and try it yourself. You should have got it if you played Vanguard. The STG was the gun everyone used when they were leveling up guns on Vanguard for starters. If not, there's a whole host of different blueprints that you can buy, and I know we don't really like that, but some of them are cool. Like the Breath of Godzilla one's pretty cool, and a lot of these will be filled with all of the meta attachments right now anyway. Like they'll be very close to the weapon attachments right now. I mean, you look, it's got the barrel, it's got the silencer, it's got the hand stop. It's very very close to having everything that you sort of need. The only real downside, big downside to it is the magazine it uses. But like I said, the 8mm aren't too bad, and for the time being, you could use them while you level it up potentially. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you go and check out that overpowered loadouts video if you wanted to, just to get an idea if there's any more that you want to try out using. It was from the last update, but they are all still relevant now. I believe most of the guns that I used in that, apart from the STG, have all stayed the same or had buffs, so they'll be even more fun to use. Make sure you check out the Warzone FPS video I put out recently if you want to increase your FPS and smoothness in the game. We know the new Caldera update brought in some new lighting. It looks pretty good. Some people's frames have slipped though, so maybe go check out that video. I'll leave a card to it in the top right now for you. And yeah, make sure you subscribe and leave a like and let me know what you thought in the comments. Good luck with the STG, and I'll see you in the next video.